the Bengaluru VFX Industry Showcase, moderated by Mr. Srinivas Bindiganavale. Please join me in welcoming our speakers, Mr. Nirmal Kumar, CEO and VFX Supervisor for Radiance FX, Mr. Sachin Ravi, Pinaka Studios Studio Head, Mr. Naveen Manoharan, Director for MTR Studios, and Mr. Shivakumar, Production Head for Unify Media. So big round of applause, please, for our speakers and our moderator.
Good evening, a very good evening to all of you. Shubha Sanjay. Thank you for being a wonderful audience. Thank you for being there the whole day. Thank you for supporting us, seeing to the sessions. As we come to the end of day one, I would like to say that it's been a very successful day one. If you have got time to go and see the competitions that happening in CKP, it's coming out really well. Please don't miss it. I have seen some of the best painting works and best clay sculpting works ever. You should really not miss it. With that note, we come to the last session of the day. Kannada ಚಿತ್ರಗಳನ್ನ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ನೋಡ್ತೀರಾ? ಅಷ್ಟೇನಾ? ಎಷ್ಟಿಷ್ಟ? ವೆರಿ ಗುಡ್. ಸೊ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿವಸ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆ ಇರೋ 3 ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ಗಳು ಯಾರು ಅಂದರೆ, ನೀವು ನೋಡುವಂಥ ಚಿತ್ರಗಳನ್ನ ನಿಮಗೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕಾಣಿಸೋ ಹಂಗೆ ಮಾಡೋವಂಥ ಮ್ಯೂಜಿಷಿಯನ್ಸು, ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋ ಓನರ್ಸು, ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸು, ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಚಿತ್ರಗಳು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಚಿತ್ರಗಳು ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅವ್ರ ಡಯಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬಂದಾಗ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಕನ್ನಡ ಚಿತ್ರರಂಗ, ಇಟ್ has come a long way. Of course, we have a lot of blockbusters, and the recent one, which has become a very big hit, probably a biggest hit the Indian film industry has ever seen. But we are proud to say that Karnataka film industry has been producing the best of the movies across the years, and continues to be the number 2 producer of films in the country after Bollywood, in terms of the number of films made in a year. That's a huge thing for the Kannada film industry. Now, how many of that become successful is left to us. We as audience, ಕನ್ನಡಿಗರಾಗಿ ನಾವು ಕನ್ನಡ ಚಿತ್ರಗಳನ್ನ ನೋಡಬೇಕು, ಬೆಳೆಸಬೇಕು, ಆಗಲೇ ಕನ್ನಡ ಚಿತ್ರರಂಗ ಇನ್ನೂ ಬೆಳೆಯುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗೆ, ವಿತ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ನೋಟ್, ಐ ವುಡ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಟು ಇನ್ವೈಟ್ ಮೈ ಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್, Mr. Sachin Ravi. No particular order. Mr. Sachin Ravi, please come on the dais. I'll introduce him one by one. Please come on the dais. Mr. Naveen Manoharan, please come on the dais. And Mr. Shivakumar, please come on the dais. ನಾವು ಪರದೆ ಮೇಲಿರುವಂಥ ಹೀರೋಗಳನ್ನ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಆರಾಧಿಸ್ತೀವಿ. We celebrate them. I think the magicians who create such visuals on the screen should be celebrated. Before I start, one big round of applause for them. You will all be wondering, alva, ಯಾರು ಯಾವ ಚಿತ್ರ, ಯಾರು ಮಾಡಿರೋದು, ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಗೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿ? ಅದು ನೀವು ಹೇಳೋದಲ್ರಿ, ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ವರ್ಷದಿಂದ. Anyway, thanks for that. So Sachin Ravi is the director of Avanir Sriman Narayana, the visual effects supervisor of Sriman Narayana. His upcoming movies include Avatar Purusha 1 and 2, 777 Charlie, and Richard Anthony. And I think some more coming in. So please be seated, Sachin. Mr. Naveen, my dear friend, who's got a long history. I need some time to explain about him. He's done his VFX on the Vancouver Film School. He has worked on many Hollywood projects abroad. He's worked for Prana Studios. He's worked for many of these prestigious projects. Nam Kannadavaru, nammore, Karnatakadavaru, Naveen Manoharan anta. Innondu katenu ide actually. He is also the director of Lahari Group and MRT Studios and Public TV and all those things. So he's ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ, he is the person. So he is also into VFX industry for a long time, and I'll be talking to him about the future of VFX. Naveen, please take your seat. Shivakumar, Unify Media, ಕೇಳಿದಿರಾ ಹೆಸರು? ಕೇಳಿರಲ್ವೋ? Good. Unify Media, who have done KGF 1, KGF 2 and so many other movies, ಒಂದು ಎರಡು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಸುಮಾರು ಚಿತ್ರಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸುಮಾರು ಚಿತ್ರಗಳು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರು ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಇವತ್ತು. ಸೊ ಹಿ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಸ್ಪೀಕ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಹಿಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಅಪ್ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಮೂವೀಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ VFX ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿ. ದ ಪರ್ಪಸ್, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಸಿಟ್ ಡೌನ್. ದ ಪರ್ಪಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸೆಷನ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಸಿಂಪಲ್. When we say, from morning we have been saying that made in Bengaluru, made in Karnataka, and we are talking about Hollywood movies. Being made in Karnataka, being made in Bangalore, ಆಯಿತು, ದೊಡ್ಡ ಚಿತ್ರಗಳು ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡನ್. ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, ನಮ್ಮವರು ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಮ್ಮ ಚಿತ್ರರಂಗಕ್ಕೆ ನಮ್ಮವ್ರು ಏನು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅದೇ ಉದ್ದೇಶ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸೆಷನ್ದು. ಸೊ ವಿಲ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಬಿ ಟಾಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಚಿತ್ರರಂಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಕನ್ನಡ ಚಿತ್ರಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ದೃಶ್ಯ ಪರಿಣಾಮ ಅಥವಾ ವಿಜುವಲ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಏನು ಕರಿತೀವೋ, ದೃಶ್ಯ ಪರಿಣಾಮ ಅಂತ ಅದೇನಾಗಿದೆ, ಯಾವ ಥರ ಒಂದು ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆಗಾಗಿದೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ಚಿತ್ರರಂಗದಲ್ಲಿ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದೇರ್ ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ಸ್, ದೇರ್ ಅಪ್ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ಸ್. By the way, I also forgot to mention, I had told me not to mention, but I'm mentioning, he's also the producer of Upendra's upcoming movie. Moor ಇದು ನೋಡಿರ್ತೀರಲ್ಲ ನೀವು, Upendra is coming back as a director. Yeah, so he's the producer of it. So that's the big news. And he's going to come back in next GFX with the making of that movie, which name I don't know. It's only the three that ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಹೆಸರು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ.
Yeah, sure, definitely.
Yeah, so the next GFX he'll be there with the making of that movie. So with no delay, I would like to start the session. Shall we start from some AV at least, or shall we start with the AV only then? I think we'll try to start with an AV. What Pinaka Studios has done of Sachin Ravi, and I think from there we'll take it up, and then we'll go based on how the flow goes, we'll go question by question. So let's play the AV, the first AV of Avanesh Narayana. a great one. Very nicely done, Sachin.
Thank you, thank you.
So, I'll start with you on this, Sachin. You were the director as well also the VFX producer of the movie. ನೀವು ಎರಡು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಎರಡು ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ, ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ, VFX ಸೂಪರ್ವೈಸರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ. ಜನರಲಿ ಹೇಗೆ ಚಿತ್ರರಂಗದಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೀತಾ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದರೆ VFX ಶಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ VFX ಶಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ VFX supervisors were not involved. There was a time when it was not involved. And then very slowly it started getting involved. In the last few years, involve ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ ಶೂಟ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಚಿತ್ರನ how were you able to think as a director and a VFX supervisor at the same time, and what are the challenges that you faced, and ಹೇಗೆ ಅದನ್ನು ನೀವು ಒಂದು ವಿಜುವಲೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗತ್ತಂತ ಈಸಿ ಆಯಿತಾ ಅಥವಾ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಯಿತಾ?
First of all, thank you for having me here. Good evening, everyone. ತುಂಬ ಚಾಲೆಂಜಿಂಗ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಐ ವಾಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ದ ಫಿಲ್ಮ್. ಬಟ್ ಲಕಿಲಿ ನನಗೇನಂದರೆ ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕಲ್ ಟೀಮ್ ಇತ್ತು ನನ್ನ ಜೊತೆ. ಯೂಶ್ವಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ VFX ನಿಮಗೆ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್, ಇಫ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ದ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಔಟ್ಪುಟ್, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ತುಂಬ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟು. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸಿನಿಮಾಟೋಗ್ರಫಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಡಿಸೈನ್. ಸೊ ನನ್ನ ಸಿನಿಮಾಗೆ ಮೈ ಸಿನಿಮಾಟೋಗ್ರಫರ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಡಿಸೈನರ್ ವಾಸ್ ದೇ ವರ್ ಬ್ರಿಲಿಯಂಟ್. ಅವರ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ಮೆಂಟು, ನಮಗೆ VFXಗೆ ಏನೇನು ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅದ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿದ ಪ್ರಿಪ್ರೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದರಿಂದ ನಮಗೆ ವೆನ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟಿಂಗ್ ದ VFX ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಅ ಈಸಿ ಟಾಸ್ಕ್. ಬಟ್ ಏನಂದರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಟೈಮ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ತೊಗೊಂತು ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ ಅರೌಂಡ್ 1900 VFX ಶಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಫಿಲ್ಮ್, ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ 80% ಆಫ್ ದ ಫಿಲ್ಮ್. ದೊಡ್ಡ ಚಾಲೆಂಜ್ ಏನಿತ್ತು ಅಂದರೆ ಇಡೀ ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಸೆಟಪ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಫಿಕ್ಷನಲ್ ವಿಲೇಜ್. ಸೊ ಆ ಒಂದು ಫಿಕ್ಷನಲ್ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ನ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು. ಬಟ್ ನಮ್ಮದು ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾನಿಂಗ್ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು 80% ಆಫ್ ದ ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಶೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ. ಸೊ 80% ಆಫ್ ದ ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ ಶೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲೇ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಸೆಟ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕಿ ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋಸಲ್ಲಿ, ಇಂಡೋರ್ ಔಟ್ಡೋರ್ ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋಸಲ್ಲಿ ಶೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಈ ಸಿನಿಮಾ VFX ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರನೇ ನಾವು ಪಿನಾಕ ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋಸ್ನ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನನ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಹೊರಗಡೆ ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋಸ್ಗೆ ಹೋದರೆ ವಿ ವಾಂಟೆಡ್ ಅ ಡೆಡಿಕೇಟೆಡ್ ಟೀಮ್ ಟು ವರ್ಕ್ ಆನ್ ಆರ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲಿ 10 ಸಿನಿಮಾ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದರೊಳಗೆ ನಮ್ಮದು ಒಂದು ಸಿನಿಮಾಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನಾನು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದರಿಂದ ನಾನು ಹೋಗಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಎವ್ರಿ ಡೇ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಸೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸಿನಿಮಾ ಶೂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆನೇ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಐ ಆಸ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಲೈಕ್ 18 to 20 ಮೆಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಟೀಮ್ ನಾನು ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗೆ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋ. ಫಾರ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ 1.5 years ನಾವು ಇದೊಂದೇ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು. ಇದಾದಮೇಲೆ ಯಾವುದು ಇದು ಮುಗಿಯೋರ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟು ಮಾಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನೌ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಅದರ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ನಮ್ಮ ಟೀಮ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೊರಗಡೆಯಿಂದ ಈಗ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ವಿ ಆರ್ ಪ್ಲಾನಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಅವರ್ ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋ ಆಲ್ಸೋ.
This is in association with Rakshit Shetty you have.
Yes, ಅಂದರೆ ನಾನು, my friend Abhishek and ನಾನು, we are running the studio. It is funded by Paramva Studios. Rakshit Shetty is Paramva Studios.
Okay. Good to know that. Naveen, coming to you. You have seen the industry right from Hollywood to Bollywood to the South regional industries. You have been a part of, you have done your VFX from Vancouver, about having 17 years of experience in this industry. You have handled various areas, working on very good projects. If I'm not wrong, you worked on series like Cars and Planes, I think so. Yeah.
Planes R&D.
Planes, yeah. So, having worked on Hollywood movies, alala kelsa ಮಾಡಿ, when you came back, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದಾಗ, when you saw the industry from a close quarter, what were your first thoughts? ಕನ್ನಡ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಜುವಲ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ ಮಟ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಿದೆ, ಎಲ್ಲಿದೆ, ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ವಿಲ್ ವಿ ಬಿ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಮ್ಯಾಚ್ ದ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ಸ್? ವಾಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಕಾನ್ಫಿಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್? ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡಿಡ್ ಯು ಫೀಲ್ ದಟ್ ಆ ಥರ ಒಂದು ತರ್ಬೋದಿಲ್ಲಿ, ಆ ಥರ ಒಂದು ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದಿಲ್ಲಿ? ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡ್ಯೂ ಇಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಟು ಡೂ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಯುವರ್ ಅಪ್ಕಮಿಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್? ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ಯುವರ್ ಥಾಟ್ಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ವಿಜುವಲ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ importance being given in Kannada movies?
Hi everyone, thank you for this opportunity, Srini. So, well, once I came back to Bangalore, after working in various Hollywood projects. And once I was back here in Bangalore, I think the first what I saw is there was a complete dearth of VFX studio itself. So if you see Pinaka's story, it's the same thing. That there was no proper VFX studio catering to the Kannada industry to begin with. Obviously, there were bigger studios here that was only catering to the Hollywood market. So the South Indian industry was not being catered to here at all. That was when I started off first. Obviously, Chennai had a lot of studios, started to grow. Hyderabad had, a few studios that was just about to grow. That is where the whole talent pool lied. So there was no talent available itself in Bangalore. All the talent that was available here was all, being exported to either Bombay or Hyderabad or Chennai. That was the condition back then. Back then, when I say it was not, a lot of, it was not too many years ago. It was about 12 years ago. This whole thing that I'm telling you was a 12 years ago scenario. Then what we did, we started educating most filmmakers. In the sense, trying to build this whole essence of filmmaking in a proper manner. Earlier, it used to be that there used to be no visual effects supervisor on the shoot. Everything was shot and everything then comes onto the desktop, and then the VFX supervisor is brought in to say, fix this, fix this, fix this. So it was only a fixing program, not a very planned, pipeline. So right now, I think it's changed. The filmmakers, actually before the filmmakers, there was no budget itself. So the budget was a primary problem for most Kannada films. And I think it's the same thing with both of them. So the budget drive the filmmakers, who in turn drive the pipeline for the entire VFX to begin with. And right now, we are talking about him making KGF 1 and 2, him making Shriman Narayana. These are all very highly VFX driven movies who proved really well at the box office also. So I think it's not that it's coming from Bangalore or it's coming from Karnataka. It's just that you make a very good film. It's successful across the globe. And obviously KGF 1 and 2 had a lot of VFX shots in it, like tons and tons of them. I think part 2 had more than what was there in part 1. And the level of VFX also has increased drastically today. Like the entire industry, I think, is kind of maturing now than it was what was in 10 years ago. So I think in our new production, like you mentioned, Upisa's film, so we are taking it to the next level where we are doing in terms of storyboards, in terms of animatics of the entire film, not just VFX shots. We want to do the entire pipeline right, like how it is done in Hollywood. So that's something that we're catering to, and we're also catering to something that's unexplored in terms of the metaverse as well, in terms of entertainment as such within the metaverse. So I think that's something that the young studios like us are catering towards, and we're headed towards that direction, and we'll definitely conquer them.
So nice to hear that our homegrown talent, our studios in Karnataka, ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿರುವಂಥ ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋಗಳು ಈ ಥರ ಒಂದು ಆಲೋಚನೆಗಳು ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ದೇ ಆರ್ ಪ್ಲಾನಿಂಗ್ ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್, ಮೆಟಾವರ್ಸ್, ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಲೆವೆಲ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಇವಾಗಲೇ ಒಂದು ಲೆವೆಲ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ ನಾವು. ವಿ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್. ಸೊ ನೈಸ್ ಟು ಹಿಯರ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಯು ನವೀನ್. ವಿ ಆರ್ ಈಗರ್ಲಿ ವೇಟಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಸಿ ವಾಟ್ ನ್ಯೂ ವಿಲ್ ಬ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಟು Upendra's unnamed movie.
Yeah,
we'll
correct.
To know what the name of the movie is, but knowing the person,
trademark Upendra sir. But
knowing the person Upendra is and his trademark, I think let's keep it as a secret only.
But I'll definitely come back with a lot of making.
Of course, you have to. The next FX has to see Upendra's making movie here.
Sure.
Thank you for that. Shivkumar, thank you for being a part of the session. And I would like to know from you, you have been around for almost 15 years, 16 years? 15, 16 years, yeah. So I'm sure you have worked on a lot of projects, including KGF and so many other movies. So what is your opinion on how the talent pool is here in the South region? Why we are known to create good content for others, but not for ourselves? What do you feel is the reason? Because we always end up creating good content for others. When it comes to our own content, we are not doing. Do you think the budget is the constraint, or do you think, I don't know, you have to tell me. I don't get an answer for that. I've been asking that for years now. So what do you feel?
Good evening, everyone. Actually, the thing is actually the budget only the issue. So, how they want, we'll do it, whatever is there. But the budget will speak the rest.
But I think with the recent movies, things are changing. So do you feel, do you get producers coming to you saying that we want this grandeur, we don't mind, we want to spend this money?
No, previously it was not like that, but nowadays the producers will come and the directors also will sit with us. If they want to make some VFX shots, they will ask the suggestions. After that, they will go for the storyboarding. All the things are, now it's happening. Before it was not there. Before it was not there. At present, everything is happening now.
And when a director narrates a script to a producer, does he approach the VFX supervisor or studio before and keep a percentage saying that this much of money has to be kept for visual effects? Has those days come in the Kannada film industry or South film industry? Any of you can answer.
Well, I think that's beginning to happen in the big budget films. It's definitely happening. But the dearth of budget in terms of the majority of the film is still there. But I think now, thanks to KGF 2, things are opening up drastically. You know, there are big filmmakers who are concentrated now with, and the producers also are backing them up with bigger budgets. They're realizing, yes, you know, you need to allocate monies and revenues, you know, basically piece of the budget towards visual effects production as well. And right now the thought process is right from the script level itself. So that is also happening. Like he said, like there are some filmmakers today who come sit with the VFX guys and say, hey, you know what, we want to do this. This is our vision. We want to ensure that our vision is translated onto the screen. So what is the budget requirement? Everything, it's coming backwards also. So like that, in today's date, I think big budget films definitely has the budget, because I'm talking about, you know, close to $1 million being spent within the Kannada movie for VFX in the Kannada movie. So I think that's a huge thing.
That's a huge one. Yeah, that's a huge one. I think we have traveled a long way from shoot ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು
from firefighting to you know, creating the fire, that is.
Exactly. True. Yeah.
Small budget films ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ದೇ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಮನಿ ಫಾರ್ ಶೂಟಿಂಗ್, ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡಿರಲ್ಲ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಮೇನ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್. ಸೊ ದೇ ವಾಂಟ್ very good output for very less budget.
So I think that's changing now. In the sense, the question or the phase of post-production is erasing. Now everything is just production. So I think big budget films are looking at it that way. Like if you see, I mean, Prashant Neel sir and things like that, they are thinking of scripts which are VFX oriented, but right from day one itself. So it's never the question of post-production. They're pre-planning that and getting away with it in production itself. So I think that's happening really well.
To add something, Ship?
Yeah, regarding that KGF2, from the day one itself we started. Actually, before shoot itself, Sir called us. So we made the storyboard. After that, we made the previews for them. And after that only, he will plan for the shoot. Even the action master or cameraman, DOP, everyone will sit with us, and we made the storyboard and we given to them.
I think what you have to take away from this is that the industry is evolving. See, what time takes for the pre-production is actually to be considered. In Hollywood, pre-production takes about 1.5 to 2 years, and the shooting gets over in 6 months. So that's why you see big blockbusters coming out from this table. In our industry, it used to be the other way around. I mean, like pre-production was hardly there. In fact, I have seen where on the go and on the shoot day also, director used to write the dialogue and say, okay, fine, this is scene has changed. Now this is the dialogue that you have to tell. kind of a thing. So we've come a long way where we have technologies to support us, we have storyboarding, we have animatics, we have pre-production techniques. So I think it's very glad to hear that our industry is reaching that. Now it's already reached. But one more question I'd like to ask was, okay, with the recent success of obviously the biggest blockbuster, has the expectation of the audience increased, which is becoming a pressure on the producer, director, and the VFX supervisor to create products like that? But we cannot become, every movie cannot become that. So when we say, how do we balance that, where we still come out with a good product in budgets that are achievable? When you say big budget, the term big budget has gone out of the window now. At least if you say in Kannada film industry, the big budget word has gone out of the window because the biggest budget has been used now and seen what we have done and what you have received. So how going forward, is it going to be a game changer or a bottleneck?
See, I think it's 50-50 if you ask me, because most big producers today, yes, KGF has set the bar really, really high, but you have a slew of other movies also coming up. Like not only from here, they're coming up from all over. And today the audience is looking at not a movie from Karnataka alone. He's looking at movies from everywhere, across the globe. Like he's looking at a Korean film, he's looking at, so the audience expectation, like you said, has reached its peak. But the filmmaker's dream and vision is never going to end. So it's like a free-flowing water, right? So you definitely have filmmakers here with much greater vision than anything there. Like if you see even Prashant Sir's vision for his next movie would obviously be better than what is there right now here. So I think that's definitely going to drive the filmmakers also to make better and better and better movies coming up. So I think anything chalega doesn't work anymore.
That's the good thing. Chalega doesn't work anymore. Shivkumar, you have worked on these projects, be it KGF or some other projects, so many you would have worked on. Did you see the change in the working pattern from what movies you had worked to these movies that you worked on specifically? And if so, was it a learning process or an experiential process?
No, there is.
I know you cannot talk much about that. I'm not specifically asking about that, but was there a change in the working pattern?
No, there is no change in working pattern. What the input we are receiving and the idea, that only we have to deliver. But sometimes it will be mismatches will happen. That is the thing. There is no working pattern changes are not there. We'll work for the film only. How the input is there, that kind of output will reach.
Coming back to Sachin, specifically if I have to ask on your upcoming projects, you are doing 777 Charlie, you are doing Avatar Purusha 1 and 2, and interestingly you are doing the next big project from the same production house which produced KGF, Richard Anthony. So what do you feel will be the expectation from you in Richard Anthony? And what are you trying to show in that? Or what are you trying to promote in that? Have you worked anything on that? Or is it just the thing that you have released is creating curiosity?
Right now, namginu script bandilla.
Okay, fine. Okay.
We have only done one teaser. I think
it was mostly
released few months back.
Have you seen the teaser of Richard Anthony? You've seen? Okay, anyway, we'll play it once again. Yeah, heli parvala.
But ನಾನು ಅಕ್ಷಿತ್ ಅವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಮಾಡಿರೋ ಡಿಸ್ಕಷನ್ ಪ್ರಕಾರ there is a lot of scope for VFX in the film. ಏನೇನು ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅವ್ರ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ನು. ಸೊ ಬಂದ ಮೇಲೆ ವಿಲ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾನಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಇಟ್. ಇವಾಗ ಅವ್ರು ಬೇರೆ ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ ವರ್ಕಲ್ಲಿ ಬ್ಯುಸಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಸರ್ ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ ಏನಂದರೆ ಇವಾಗ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನೋ ಮೋರ್ ಅ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ವರ್ಕ್, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಪ್ರೀ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ವರ್ಕ್. ವಿ ಹವ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಆನ್ ಫ್ಯೂ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ನಂದು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಫಿಲಮ್ಗೆ ನಾನು ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ with respect to VFX, I have started a lot of works. So
The one which you're directing next.
Yeah.
Okay. So he is going to direct one more. I don't know
directing
whether
a film for
you can tell the audience. Yeah.
For Shivanna.
Okay,
It's a film completely based on VFX. It's a superhero film.
That's so wonderful. A Kannada superhero film with Shivanna in the lead. And
There are
it's going to start in
challenging-
August. August the shooting starts.
August or
Fantastic.
September.
Yeah.
So ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಚಾಲೆಂಜಿಂಗ್ ಸೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ R&D ಫಾರ್ ದಟ್ ನಾವು.
Fantastic.
ಸೊ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನೋ ಮೋರ್ ಅ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್. ಬಟ್ ಏನಂದರೆ ಆಡಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಪರ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ದೇಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ VFX. ದೇ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಬಿಗ್ ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ಸ್, ಲಾರ್ಜರ್ ದೆನ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್. ಅದು ನಾವು VFXಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವೋ ರಿಯಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವೋ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರೋ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೇಳಲ್ಲ. But obviously, directors or filmmakers will depend on VFX. So it is the VFX studio's responsibility to deliver the best output.
Since thanks Sachin. Since you're talking about Richard Anthony, probably let's play a clip for people who have not seen it. Can we have the AV of Richard Anthony, please?
Not this.
ಈ ಪರಶುರಾಮ ಕ್ವಾಟ್ರಿ ಬಿಸಾಕಿ ಸಮುದ್ರರಾಜನ ಕೈ ನೆಲ ಕಿತ್ಕೊಂಡ. ಇಲ್ದಿರಿ ಗಟ್ಟದ ಕೆಳಗೆ ನೆಲವೆಲ್ಲ ಸಮುದ್ರರಾಜಂದೆ. ಅವನ ಜಾಗುನ ವಾಪಸ್ ತಗೊಂಬಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದದವ. ಕೈಯಂಗೊಂದು ಪಾಶ ಬೇರೆ ಇದ್ದಿತ್ತು ಒಂದು. ಬಂದ ಕೂಡಲೇ ಪಾಶ ಬಿಸಾಕಿನ ಇಲ್ಲಿಯ 3 ಬಲಿ ತಗೊಂಡ. ಅರೆ ಒಬ್ಬನ ಕೊರಲಿಗೆ ಆ ಪಾಶ ಹೂವಿನ ಹಾರ ಆಯ್ತು. ವಾಪಸ್ ಬಂದ ಕಾಣಿ 3ರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಬ್ಬ ವಾಪಸ್ ಬಂದ. ಒಂದು ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಕತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದ್ರ ಸುದ್ದಿ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಬಂದ ವಾಲಿ ಕಡುಗೆ ಯಾರು ಬೇಕಾರ ಬರಲಿ, ಇವನೊಬ್ಬ ಬಬ್ಬದ್ ಬೇಡ ಮಾರ್ರಿ. ಏಯ್ ಕಾಕಿ ಇವ ಬಂದ್ರೆ ಕಾಣ ಮತ್ತೆ.
Interesting one, alva? ಖುಷಿ ಆಗತ್ತಪ್ಪ ನಮ್ಮ ಕನ್ನಡ ಚಿತ್ರರಂಗದಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದಕ್ಕೆ.
ಇದು we did this in lockdown time.
Yeah, and I think everybody knows what is the VFX element in this. ಏನು ವಿಜುವಲ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಿಜವಾದೇ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಅದು ಏನು VFX ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ಲ? ಕಾಗೆನಾ? ಓಕೆ. So that was a nice one, Sachin. We'll be eagerly waiting for it. Do you want to share something, if possible, idre, if you can, if you're allowed to? 777 Charlie ಏನಾದ್ರು challenges face ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು ಅಥವಾ ವಿಜುವಲ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು? ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಗೆಫೆಕ್ಸ್ಗೆ ತೊಗೊಂಬರ್ಬೇಕು ಅದನ್ನು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಗೆಫೆಕ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್. ನಾನು ಬಿಟ್ಟರೆ ಬರೀ ಕನ್ನಡ ಚಿತ್ರಗಳದ್ದೇ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ VFX. ಯಾವುದು ಹಾಲಿವುಡ್ ಬೇಡ, ಯಾವುದು ಬಾಲಿವುಡ್ ಬೇಡ. ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಚಿತ್ರರಂಗ ವಿಲ್ ರೂಲ್.
The rise of sandalwood.
The rise of sandalwood.
No wood anymore.
No wood.
No wood anymore.
Yeah. ಆಗಿದೆ, ರೈಸ್ ಆಗೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ. ಸೊ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಸಿ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ನಡ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಶೋಕೇಸ್ಡ್. ನಾವು ಇವಾಗ ಏನು ಈ ಹಾಲಿವುಡ್ ಫಿಲಮ್ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಬನ್ನಿ, ಒಂದು ಬೇರೆ ಭಾಷೆ ತಮಿಳ್ ಫಿಲಮ್, ತೆಲುಗು ಫಿಲಮ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ತೋರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಬನ್ನಿ ಅಂತ ಅಂತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬರೀ ಕನ್ನಡ ಫಿಲಮ್ಗಳದೇ ಒಂದು ಇವೆಂಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ವಿಜುವಲ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಫಿಲಮ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ದ ಡೇ ಇಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಸೂನ್.
Very soon.
I think with such guys around, I think it's a very soon day that we'll see. Shivkumar, what are your next projects? What do you want to tell something? Are you allowed to tell about your next projects? Not right now?
No, sir.
Okay. Any experience that you want to share while doing the KGF series or something else that you did recently?
Yes, sir. The major thing is Prashant Nil sir is a captain of the ship. What he wants, he will take it. Same as Bhuvan sir, DOP. He will suggest us what we need. If they need any corrections or something, they will sit with us. They will do the thing. They will help us to make more better. And that's it, sir.
So, very sweet of him. Tomorrow, I think we'll have a more detailed in depth of that. So tomorrow evening between 4:15 and 5, I think we'll have the stars behind the grandeur of KGF 2. I don't think anybody will going to miss that. So be there for that. We'll have more on that. We'd like to show some showreel of your studio. I think we have an AV with us. So let's have the AV of Unify Media about the work that they have done. Can you have the AV, please? ವಾವ್, ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ. ನಾಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ನಡ ಮೂವೀಸ್, ಆಲ್ ದ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ವರ್ಲ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹಾಲಿವುಡ್ ಮೂವೀಸ್, ಬಾಲಿವುಡ್ ಮೂವೀಸ್, ಆಲ್. ಸೊ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ I don't know, I'm speechless. I think we have so much of talent here. We don't even, I mean, we not only to Hollywood movies, we cater to all kinds of movies. So it's like, ಏನಿಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ನಮ್ಮ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ಗಳು ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಆಗ್ತಾರದು. ಬೇರೆ ಊರಿಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಬೇರೆ ರಾಜ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅಲ್ವಾ? Am I sounding very, 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 yeah, very regional, right? Very
I
reasonable.
think, but I think that's the way how the industry is evolving. So
Yeah,
I think
that's right.
It's a good thing that a lot of VFX in-house is being done for regional cinema here. There's nothing now called regional anymore. I think
Absolutely,
everything
it's
is
gone.
just
It's
becoming
all
an Indian film industry. which
Indian
is
film industry, that's a good thing
catering
actually.
to a lot of visual effects oriented cinemas also, because I think, see, visual effects as a tool is a great across the whole country, and I think we should start producing more and more content towards that are visual effects oriented.
ಹೌದು ನನಗೆ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಾವು ಐ ಆಮ್ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾನಿಂಗ್
But fantastic,
there is
fantastic.
one small sequence I'm planning in my next film. Let's see, because there is a need.
Very good, very good, yeah, very good. It's very glad to hear that our filmmakers are going the technology and the industry is going that way. Naveen, if I have to ask you the same question.
I think my dream is maybe a small one, which possibly we could achieve this in the next 5-6 years. But I think I want to make a cinema that is known worldwide, and forgetting where it's made, I want to make it completely within our studio itself. Like, there should be no single shot that is actually shot in real world.
Fantastic. You're talking about the unreal way then. Yeah.
So,
Right.
but I think it's definitely possible.
It's already
It's just a
being-
matter of time.
Yeah, it's already being made possible. There's an upcoming Kannada movie which is using that too. Shivkumar, if I ask you the same question, what will be your ambition using VFX? What will be your dream if you want to do something?
My dream is actually to do the VFX, that's it. For work for the lot
That's
of
he's the most
movies.
sweetest person, and I'm telling you. Yeah, very nice. That's a very nice one. Yeah,
That is the thing, nothing else.
good, good. So I think it's been a wonderful session. I would want the audience to interact because ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಗೊತ್ತಿರಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಪರದೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಮ್ಮ. ಪರದೆ ಮೇಲೆಲ್ಲ ನೋಡ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು, ಬಟ್ ಇದ್ರ ಹಿಂದೆ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ನಮಗೆ ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಫಿಲಮ್ ನೋಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಒಂದು ಎಷ್ಟೋ ವರ್ಷದ ಪರಿಶ್ರಮನ ನಾವು ಒಂದು 2 ನಿಮಿಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಏನು ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ ಇದು ಅಂತಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೈದ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ಅದ್ರ ಹಿಂದೆ ಇರೋ ಪರಿಶ್ರಮನ ನಾವು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಒಂದು ಚಿತ್ರ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಛಾಯಾಗ್ರಾಹಕರಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಎವ್ರಿಬಡಿ ತುಂಬ ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡೋಂಥ ಚಿತ್ರ ಮಾಡ್ವಿ, ತುಂಬ ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟು ಚಿತ್ರಗಳನ್ನ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಸೊ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಡಿಸೈಡ್, ಐ ಮೀನ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಥರ ಕಾಂಟೆಂಟು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ, ಬಟ್ ಒಂದು ಚಿತ್ರದ ಹಿಂದೆ ಬರುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಕಷ್ಟಪಡುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟ್ರಗಲ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಟೀಮ್ಗೆ. ಐ ಮೀನ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಶೇರಿಂಗ್ ಆಸ್ ಅ moderator or a event organizer, but I'm also sharing because I myself am a film producer. So I've seen the lot of struggles that from the production point of view that we go through. So first and foremost ನಾವು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಚಿತ್ರಗಳನ್ನ ನೋಡಿ ಬೆಳೆಸಬೇಕು. That is very important. We have to see good movies and allow it to grow, support it. And we should watch our movies if you're specifically wanting to grow this industry. With such guys around, I'm sure that ನಾ ಗ್ಯಾರಂಟಿ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಇಯರ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀ ಕನ್ನಡ ಚಿತ್ರಗಳೇ ಮಾಡೋದು. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಚಿತ್ರಗಳು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ನನಗೆ ಅದೇ ಒಂದು ಐ ಆಮ್ ಲುಕಿಂಗ್ ಫಾರ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಟು ಬ್ರಿಂಗಿಂಗ್ ಸೋ ಮೆನಿ ಕನ್ನಡ ಮೂವೀಸ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ವೆನ್ ಐ ಸೇ ನಾವು I can list down the names now, how many movies we can bring next year. ಸಾಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ ಸರ್ ನೀವು. 2 ದಿವಸನೂ ಸಾಲಲ್ಲ, ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ 1-2 ದಿವಸ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಮಾಡೋಣ, ಅಷ್ಟು ಚಿತ್ರಗಳು ಬರಲಿ, ಕನ್ನಡ ಚಿತ್ರದಿಂದ ಅಷ್ಟು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಚಿತ್ರಗಳು ಬರಲಿ. ಸೊ ಕ್ವಿಕ್ಲಿ ಯಾರಿಗಾದ್ರೂ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಇದ್ರೆ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು. 1-2 ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಆಗಲೇ ನೋಡಿದೆ. ಇಲ್ಲೊಬ್ರು ಮೇಡಮ್ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅಲ್ಲೊಬ್ರು ಸರ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇಬ್ಬರೊಂದು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳ್ಬೋದು.
ಸರ್ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ್ ಸರ್, ಎವ್ರಿ ಟೈಮ್ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ ಕನ್ನಡ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಸಿಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸರ್, ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಿಕ್ ಟು ಆ್ಯಡ್ ವಿತ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸೆಷನ್. ಸೊ ನನಗನ್ಸ್ದಂಗೆ ಪರ್ಸನಲ್ ಫೀಲಿಂಗು 22 ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕೆ ಉಪೇಂದ್ರ ರಾಮು ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಹಾಲಿವುಡ್ ಅವ್ರು ಅಂದ್ಕೊಂಡಂಗೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲಿ ಕಿಕ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೆ 22 ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕೆ VFXನಲ್ಲಿ ದೇ ವುಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಬೀನ್ ಹ್ಯೂಜ್ ಗೇಮ್ ಚೇಂಜರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿ. ಲೇಟ್ ಆದರೂ ಈಗ ಲೇಟೆಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದಟ್ ಒನ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾಡ್ VFX ಲೇಟ್ ವೆಂಕಿ ಆನ್ ಬೋರ್ಡ್. ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಮ್ ನೋಯಿಂಗ್. Because coming back to the now 2 questions, ಒನ್ ಈಸ್ ಸಚಿನ್ ಸರ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನೀವೇನೀಗ ಶಿವಣ್ಣನಂತ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತೀರೋ, ಊರಿ ಟೀಮ್ ಅವರು ಅದನ್ನೇ ಸೂಪರ್ ಹೀರೋನ ಅನೌನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಯಾರೆ. ಸುದೀಪ್ ಅನು ಭಂಡಾರಿ ಅವರು ಆಯಿತು. ಸೊ ನಿಮ್ದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಲಿ. ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ ಕೇಸ್ ಇಫ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಫ್ಲಿಕ್ಟ್, ಹೌ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಓವರ್ಕಮ್, ನಿಮ್ಮದೇ ಯೂನಿಕ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಥರದಲ್ಲಿ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಡಿಸ್ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ದಟ್ ಫೈನ್, ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನವೀನ್ ಸರ್ಗೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಉಪೇಂದ್ರ ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಅದೇ ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ ಹಾಲಿವುಡ್ಡು ಮತ್ತು ಸೂಪರ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ ಈ ವಾಸ್ ಹೆಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್ಸ್. ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಅವರು 2010 ಸೂಪರ್ದು ಇನಿಷಿಯಲಿ 15 ಮಿನಿಟ್ಸ್ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ರು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ 2020 ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಆನ್ ರಿಯಾಲಿಟಿ. ಸೊ ವಿತ್ ಯುವರ್ ಫಿಲಮ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ, ವಿತ್ ಉಪ್ಪಿ ಸರ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಟು ಡೈರೆಕ್ಷನ್, ಹೌ ಮಚ್ ಆಫ್ VFX ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಓರಿಯೆಂಟೆಡ್? ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
ವಿತ್ ರೆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟು ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಟ್ ನಾನೇನು ಹೇಳೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಮೈಥಾಲಜಿ. ಆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಯಾರ ಹತ್ರನೂ ಪೇಟೆಂಟ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಎನಿಬಡಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಟೇಕ್ ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಎನಿ ಕ್ಯಾರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಮೈಥಾಲಜಿ ಆರ್ ಹಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ರೈಟ್ ದರ್ ಓನ್ ಸ್ಟೋರೀಸ್. ಸೊ ಇದು ನನ್ನ ಪರ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿವಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಬರೆದಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಅ ಮೂವಿ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್. ಪ್ರಾಬಲಿ ಯಾರದ್ದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ಯಾರ್ದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಲೆಟ್ಸ್ ಸಿ. ಬಟ್ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಕಾನ್ಫ್ಲಿಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತೂ ಏನೂ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಐ ಬಿಲೀವ್ ಮೈ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಪೇರ್ಡ್ ಟು ಅದರ್ 2 ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ಸ್.
ಸರ್, ನೀವು ಕೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ ಉಪೇಂದ್ರ ಸರು ಹಾಲಿವುಡ್ ಅನೌನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಅವ್ರು 10 years ಅಹೆಡ್ ಇದ್ರು. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನ 2022. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನ್ ಹೌ ಮೆನಿ ಇಯರ್ಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್ಡ್. So there's definitely going to be a huge VFX role, but I can't disclose much on that as of now. But it's definitely there. And it's definitely it's definitely going to be ahead of its times.
Good. We are all looking forward to it.
Yeah, good evening. The session was really very interesting, but I just want to know in one word, which is very important, spending more money on pre-production or post-production, because Naveen was telling, post-production should go along with the production. Okay, so suppose if I have a budget constraint, so what should I do as a filmmaker? I have talent, but I have no money. So what's your advice to me? There are 2 questions actually here, but anyways, you can answer me. Anybody can answer me this question.
For any VFX, ಏನಂದರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಮೆನಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ವೇಸ್ ಟು ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್, ಬಟ್ ದರ್ ಆರ್ 3 ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ಒನ್ ಈಸ್ ಟೈಮ್, ಮನಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ. ಸೊ ಈ ಮೂರನ್ನು ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಕಲಿಬೇಕು. ಇಫ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ದ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಮೋರ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮನಿ, ಆರ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಅ ವೇ ವೇರ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಲೆಸ್ ಮನಿ, ಲೆಸ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಗೆಟ್ ಬೆಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ, ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್. ತುಂಬ R&D ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಪ್ರೀ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದಷ್ಟು we can find out a better way. I don't know, but ಅಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ಯಾರು ಕೊಡಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋಸ್ಗೆ.
So I think with my past experience in Disney, I can tell you that projects out of Disney had about 12 months of pre-prod and 8 months of production. So you see the importance of pre-prod over the production is more. And I think if that happens, then you would plan out your shots very well. You can execute it very well. In terms of your budget constraints also, if that is well thought of right from the word go, you can create amazing visually. I mean, that's a given. But I think right from the script level, if your VFX also is embedded and if you're planning it right from day one, you can definitely achieve your film. You can definitely achieve the film. Because see, VFX is something that has 2 levers, like he said. One is you need more time if you don't have the budget, or if you have the budget, you need less time, because you can evenly distribute it among 10 different companies to get your work delivered. But if you don't have that much of revenue in terms of spending them, in terms of the budget, then it's a bit of a problem. So when you come back, if you do your pre-prod very well and list out your budgetary constraints right at the script level, you can definitely achieve in production. So to answer your question in a nutshell, pre-prod is always better, and to include it is always better to go hand in glove with production.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sir, I have a question. Yeah. Sir, I have a question actually. Velidira, VFX in our Kannada industry is growing very good and in big scale. But my question is, what are the boundaries? In terms, like on the example ಕೊಡ್ತೀನಿ, ನಮ್ಮ Hollywood movies go ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ, they have some boundaries, like in the sense physics maintain ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, like you get my point?
Yeah, I get your point. So, you want to answer that? Yeah. See, if you see something that was there with Matrix, right? Hollywood broke all barriers that time itself, in terms of their physicality, in terms of believability, in terms of everything. Cinema is a medium, right? It has to, there should be no boundary as such. And right now, it's how big a dream a filmmaker like him can dream. It's all about that. How it can be a small dream or a big dream. But there is absolutely no boundaries, and you shouldn't have boundaries also. This is my understanding. Like if a small town story in Kerala can make a superhero film, I think there's no boundary at all.
Yeah. And ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಗೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಡಿಪೆಂಡೆಂಟ್ ಆನ್ ದ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಫಿಲ್ಮ್. If you can write a script where you can make the audience believe whatever happening on the screen is convincing, then there is no boundary. You can explore anything in VFX.
Sir, our convincibility factor ತೊಂಬರಕ್ಕೆ, is it more hard or is it an easier process?
It's a smart work of a writer.
Exactly. It's a smart work being translated onto screen. And that whole process, all the way from the writing work onto your screen, is where your whole pipeline comes into being. And how smart you maneuver your whole scene across the whole pipeline, that's what matters.
Okay, sir, thank you. One ವಿಷಯ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು ಅನ್ಕೊಂತ ಇದೀನಿ. It was an inspiring journey, inspiring stories, and because of people like you, we don't have to go anywhere for our dreams, for our VFX dreams.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Bangalore is the hub for all dreams in terms of VFX.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you guys?
Good. Thank you.
I've been involved with the Kannada film industry for a very long time. In fact, my first VFX was done in 1996 for a Kannada film, Shanti Shanti Shanti. So from that time to what KGF today is, like a little baby got up and ready for a Olympics race. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So I
All
worked for more than I think 25 Kannada films as a VFX studio. But always it used to be like shoot and come, then try to repair and so is it changed now? Do you guys do data capture, depth capture, light capture, lens data, all those things on the location? Or is it still the same trying to, repair it?
Like I told earlier, the big productions are changed. In the way how big productions are being shot today is completely changed. Like can be KGF or Vikrant Rona or all these big budget films that are coming up, are in the whole pipeline. They're definitely changed.
How about small films? Small budget.
See, the small films, it's all about the learning curve of the filmmaker. Now, if the filmmaker is inclined towards visual effects as a medium to tell cinema, then he slowly starts learning it. It's a journey even for him. It's a learning curve even for him. So there are small time directors.
Who must be taught about the producer, the director, or all the whole team about the technologies that is available now?
I think the directors. Yeah, absolutely. Because see, now he's the director. But if he did not have a VFX background or a learning curve, then he would always depend on somebody else to
Realize
make sure his dream is achieved.
Right.
Correct. Like if you want to make a film which has VFX, then you should learn about VFX, at least some basics.
No, we
Or you
made
should have
many-
someone who
many,
knows VFX.
Yeah, we made many attempts. I know I used to come to Bangalore and call all the film industry people and showcase them what technology can do. So I think the same exercise should continue even now.
Absolutely. I think it's a learning curve for everyone, even for us. I mean, it's not like we know everything. We constantly keep learning stuff.
Yes.
I think that whole education should happen, and definitely should happen from all quarters. I think that's something that, we strongly believe in that.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yeah,
Hello.
I think we can just take 1 or 2 max.
Yes.
I'll
Sir,
tell one
yeah.
ನಿಮಿಷ. Yeah, please ask ma.
Yes, sir. Arjun here. My question is to Sachin, sir. ಸರ್ ಇವಾಗ ನಾನು ತುಂಬ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟರ್ಸಿಂದ ಕೇಳ್ಪಟ್ಟ ಹಾಗೆ ಹಾಗೂ ನಾನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯೆನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗೆ ನಾವು ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಬರೀಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಏನು ವಿಜುವಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ಏನು ಇಮ್ಯಾಜಿನೇಷನ್ ಇಟ್ಟಿರ್ತೀವಿ, ಅದು ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಬರಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಆ ಲೆವೆಲಿಗೆ ರೀಚ್ ಆಗಿರಲ್ಲ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಸತಿ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್ ಪರ್ಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟಿವ್, ಇವಾಗ ನಾನು ಬಾಹುಬಲಿ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಬೇರೆ ತುಂಬ ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, 3D ಆ್ಯನಿಮೇಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಸೊ ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನು ಅವನೇ ಶ್ರೀಮನ್ನಾರಾಯಣಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರ, ಲೈಕ್ ನಾನು VFX ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಡೌನ್ ನೋಡಿದೆ, ಬಟ್ 3D ಆ್ಯನಿಮೇಷನ್ ಪ್ರೀ ಪ್ರೊಡಕ್ಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸೀನ್ಸಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಿ? ಲೈಕ್ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ 1900 ಶಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ, ಈಚ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಫ್ರೇಮಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರ, ಅಥವಾ ಎಷ್ಟು ಟೈಮ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತು ಸರ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅದು?
ಆ್ಯನಿಮೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಫ್ಯೂ ಸೀನ್ಸ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಡನ್ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಬೋರ್ಡ್. ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜ್ ಏನಂದರೆ, ನಾವು ಶೂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋವಾಗ ಆನ್ ದ ಸ್ಪಾಟ್ ಹೋಗಿ ವಿ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ದ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಇವತ್ತು ಏನೇನು ಶೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸಿನಿಮಾಟೋಗ್ರಫರ್ ಜೊತೆ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ, 1 day ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಆರ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಶೂಟ್ ಡೇ ವಿ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್. ಬಟ್ ನೀವು ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, ನೀವು ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡೋವಾಗಲೇ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ವಿಚ್ ವಿಲ್ ರೆಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಸ್ಪಾಟ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಫಿಲಮ್ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಬಟ್ ಶೂಟಿಂಗ್ ಸ್ಪಾಟಿಗೆ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅದನ್ನು ಶೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ, ಬೇರೆ ಏನೋ ಶೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಸ್ಪಾಟ್ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಟೆಂಪ್ಟ್ ಯು ಟು ಇಂಪ್ರೂವೈಸ್ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ಏನೇನೋ ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಅಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟರ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಇವಾಗ ನನ್ನ ಫಿಲ್ಮಲ್ಲೇ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಇಟ್. ಇವಾಗ ನಾನು ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡೋವಾಗ ಹೀರೋ ಬಂದು ಟೇಬಲ್ ನಂಬರ್ 1 ಕೂತ್ಕೋತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿದರೆ, ಇಫ್ ಹಿ ವಾಂಟ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸಿಟ್ ಇನ್ ಅ ಅದರ್ ಟೇಬಲ್, ದೆನ್ ಐ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಲ್ ದ ಶಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾನಿಂಗ್ ನೀವು ಎಷ್ಟು ಮಾಡ್ತೀರೋ ಅಷ್ಟು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದು. ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಈವನ್ ನೀವು 3D ಆ್ಯನಿಮೇಷನ್ ಆರ್ ವಿಜುವಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೂ ಸ್ಟೋರಿ ಬೋರ್ಡ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಸೇವ್ ಯು ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಸ್ಪಾಟ್.
ಓಕೆ ಸರ್, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
Sir, thank you. Srinivas sir, thank you for bringing these brilliant minds on the table.
Thank you, sir.
Because if these 3 people walk on MG Road or Malleshwaram, nobody would know they have such big talent inbuilt in them. So thank you. That's a very good showcasing, number 1. Number 2, FX has to do exclusively Kannada film show like this, apart from having an annual show. Exclusively Kannada. By next year we'll have enough content
this is a
to
good
do
thought.
it.
Good thought.
Exclusively Kannada,
Madonna,
but
sir, Madonna.
also have an annual regular whatever show we have. Number 3, cinema or any mass media is content oriented. People get confused between the VFX part and the orientation of making only on a VFX and doing a content, as Mr. Sachin said. It is the audience who are interested in the story. Yes. And VFX, if it is being a tool, that awareness, Mr. Biren was saying in the morning, that if people come to the Excellence Center, a new vocabulary will be formed. So such a journey, awareness journey can be arranged. So what is possible, as Arul Murthy sir also said, that has to happen often is my request. So we know what is the vocabulary we can think with. Like, if I know what is the tools available, I can enhance my imaginative process. So on those lines, you have been doing extensive work for a long time. So please continue on these lines as well, is my request. And thank you for showcasing these people. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So,
Hello.
as he rightly
Sir.
said, yeah.
ಕೊನೆಯದಾಗಿ ನಾನು ಕಾಟ್ನೂರು
ಸರ್
ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ.
ಹೇಳಿ.
ಶ್ರೀನಿವಾಸ್ ಸರ್, ನಿಮಗೆ ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ತುಂಬ ಹೃದಯದ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಗಳು.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಸರ್.
ನಾನು ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಗ್ರಾಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಇವೆಂಟ್ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತು. ಇವತ್ತು ಮೊದಲನೇ ಬಾರಿಗೆ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ನಡದವ್ರನ್ನ ಕೂಡ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನು ನನಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಖುಷಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಹ್ಯಾಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಟು ಯು ಸರ್.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೊ ಮಚ್ ಸರ್.
ನನಗೆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಇದೆ, ಕೇಳೋದೇನೆಂದರೆ, ಇವತ್ತು ಸಾವಿರಾರು ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದಿಂದ ಮತ್ತು ಭಾರತದ ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಸ್ಟೇಟಿಂದ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಅವ್ರ ಹತ್ರನೂ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಇವಾಗ ತೋರಿಸಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ AVs ಎಲ್ಲ ನೋಡಿ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಅವರೆಲ್ಲ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಕನಸಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಹೇಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಏನು ಖುಷಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದವರು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಇವತ್ತು ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, VFX ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಅವ್ರದ್ದೊಂದು ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಟೌನ್ಸಿಂದ, ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ಡಿಸ್ಟಿಕ್ಕಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ಯಾವುದೋ ತಾಲೂಕಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ನಾವು ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮ ಊರಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಕೆಲಸ, ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಕೆಲಸ, ಕನ್ನಡದ ಫಿಲ್ಮ್ಸನ್ನು ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡೇ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕನಸಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಕನಸಿಗೆ ನೀವು ಇದ್ದಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಈಗ ಯಾವ ಇಂಡಸ್ಟ್ರಿನಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋಸ್, ಇವರ್ ಆಲ್ ಲೀಡರ್ಸ್. ನೀವು ಅಂಥ ಸಣ್ಣ ಸ್ಟುಡಿಯೋಸನ್ನು ಅಥವಾ ಅಂಥ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳನ್ನು ಅವರನ್ನು ನೀವು ಹೇಗೆ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಫ್ಯೂಚರ್ ಪ್ಲ್ಯಾನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅನುಕೂಲ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಸರ್, ಇನ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಎ ತುಂಬ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಈ ಕ್ಷೇತ್ರದಲ್ಲಿ, ನೀವು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಫೀಲ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ. ಅಂದರೆ ಹಳೆ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ, ಅಂದರೆ ಒಂದು 10 ವರ್ಷ ಹಿಂದೆ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಆರ್ಟ್ ಕಾಲೇಜಸ್ಸು ಬರೀ ಅವರು ಆಫ್ಲೈನ್ ಆರ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ರು. ಬಟ್ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಎಂಥ ತರಬೇತಿ ನೀಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ಅವರ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟಾಗಿ ಡಿಜಿಟೈಸ್ಡ್ ಆರ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಯಾಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಷ್ಟು ರೀತಿಗೆ ಒಂದು ಆರ್ಟಿಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ತಯಾರಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್
ಡಿಜಿಟಲ್ ಆರ್ಟ್
ಸೆಂಟರ್. ಅಂದರೆ ಆ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಹೌ ಟು ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಆರ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಡಿಜಿಟಲಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಮಟ್ಟಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ತೊಗೊಂಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಈಗ. ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ನೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಕೋವಿಡಲ್ಲಿ it has taught us that everybody can work remotely, and movies also can be done, visual effects also can be done remotely. And I mean, it's proven worldwide. So I think we'll definitely do that. We will look into your thought, which is a very good thought. In fact, how we can utilize this great talent sitting in tier 2, tier 3, whatever cities across the state, and we will definitely see how we can bridge that gap between, because we are always need of good talent. Like studios like us always wants very good talent, but like you rightly said, if that is not available here, we are ready to go for that outreach, get those artists. In fact, we have always trained all artists, whoever comes to our studio, we've always trained them for at least 15-20 days, and then only got them onto production. So we don't mind doing that either. We don't mind training them at our own expense, and we don't mind even getting work done from them remotely also. So I think that's something that we're pretty much open to doing that.
ಸೊ ಇವತ್ತು ಬಂದಿರ್ತ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಅವರ ಕನಸು ಕಂಡಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ನನ್ಸಾಗೋ ದಿನಗಳ ಸಮೀಪ ಇದೆ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಕಾರ?
ಶೋರ್ ಸರ್, ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್.
ಖಂಡಿತ ಸರ್, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
ಖಂಡಿತ ಸರ್, ಖಂಡಿತ. ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಇಬ್ಬರು ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಬಂದು ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ, ಡ್ಯಾಕ್ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಿಂದ ಒಂದು 2 ಚಿತ್ರಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ನಾವು ಅಂತ ಅವ್ರ ಹೆಸರದ್ದು ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಶಾಟ್ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ರು ಆಫ್ಟರ್ನೂನ್.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That shows that the entire program is a success.
Exactly.
Like the more names you see on screen who are come from these completely art background onto a VFX, oriented cinema, I think that's the complete success. And I think in the near future you'll start seeing more and more names.
Absolutely. We're all working towards that. ಕೊನೆಯದಾಗಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಹೇಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೀರಾ? We are already overshot, and everybody is sitting here. That means everybody has loved whatever we have done right now. I think I didn't see a single person get up and go out of the room. So ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಕೆಲಸ ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ಕೊನೆಯದಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಬೇಕಾ ಅಥವಾ ನಾವೊಂದು
ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರಿಗೆ VFX ಕಲಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಡೋಂಟ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆನ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ಸ್. ನಾನು ಕಲ್ತಿರೋದು 99% ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬಿಂದ. ಸೊ
ಹಿಂಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ರೆ ವಿದ್ಯಾಸಂಸ್ಥೆಗಳಿಗೆ ಯಾರು ಸೇರೋದೇ ಅಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಆಮೇಲೆ.
ಡೋಂಟ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆನ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ಸ್. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಥರ ರಿಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಅವೈಲಬಲ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
I think that's better. I mean, like, you want to add anything to that?
So I think, to add to what he said, we definitely need institutes to learn your tools. But I think beyond that is what you have to learn it by yourself. In the sense, you have to swim by yourself in the sea. But if you do not know how to swim, which what the institute teaches you, then you would definitely drown out. So I think you learn how to swim, and then obviously you can swim in a river or a swimming pool or an ocean or whatever. That's left up to you. But I think first learn how to swim, and learn your tools and everything in place, in a proper place, and then obviously, like how we said, get into the ocean, swim it all out with all the resources available on the internet.
I think you want to add last line. Done. He's so sweet here. He's really like. Yeah. So it's been a great session. I think I've enjoyed the most moderating this session, and we at Abai, on behalf of the entire committee and the entire AVGC industry, are thankful to these three gentlemen sitting here, and we are proud to have them as a part of our state, doing Kannada films, doing work on Kannada films, not only Kannada films and making Kannada films proud, but also making our state and our people proud by making path-breaking work in other kind of movies also. So a big round of applause once more to all these three wonderful guys. Thank you for all your time.
Thank you.
I think, thanks Sachin, thank you Naveen, thank you
Srini.
Shivkumar. Thanks a lot for being a part of this.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. If I could please request Mr. Vishal to join us on stage and present a memento to our speakers and our moderator.
Yo, mic check, mic check. Yeah, here you go. Oh, nah, he over here. Yeah, I heard he got that hot new thing.
And while we're doing our felicitation, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think this evening, or rather this entire day, would be possible without our sponsors. So we would like to say a huge, huge thank you to our sponsors. Platinum sponsor, Technicolor Creative Studios and MPL. Gold sponsor, Zebo Animation Studio. Silver sponsor, Arena Animation. Bronze sponsor, Epic Games. Venue partner, Karnataka Chitrakala Parishad. Connectivity partner, Act Fibernet. Association partner, Indian Delphic Council. Fantastic. With this, ladies and gentlemen, could we have a big, big round of applause for our final power pack session?